I don't have an introduction for this video. I never had one to begin with, and I wasn't that ambitious to think of one either. This upload is going to be the last footage dump because I finally decided that I'll listen to my friend Cal and give a different title to my future videos. So Cal, don't nag at me anymore, and to anyone who's watching, thank you. Please also check out Cal's channel because he's a fantastic creator. I had fun making these footage dumps because they were easy, low effort, with no attachments to professional obligations. Replaying them has given me the opportunity to not only share my ugly creations, but it has also allowed me to acknowledge the current mistakes I still make, like bad lighting, the lack of structure, and the obnoxious camera shake. But I think 15 videos of that is more than enough. I want to improve my production and editing skills in the future. And for the next few months, I'm unsure if I'll have any uploads prepared because I'll be focused on my offline priorities. I'll be preparing myself for the graduation ceremony to my diploma since it was previously postponed as a result of the pandemic. I'll also be completing my final courses to my bachelor's program, and since these are happening all within the span of my final school term, I just don't think that I'll have time to push out content. Out of all the videos that I've posted on my channel, my rice bread recipe was the one that was most successful. So I'm interpreting it as what people want to see more of. I'm an amateur in video production. I'm indecisive on filming angles and how a video is going to flow. So I'm not sure if I can promise better production quality, but I think challenging myself to explore more is the fun part of attempting to make content. Other than that, I hope whoever comes across this video, and by whoever comes across this video, I really mean whoever I send this to, is doing well. On my end, I've had the pleasure of spending my break with my family and a few friends since the borders are now more relaxed. And even though I did greet them already during the previous term, I was caught up with schoolwork, so I didn't get to enjoy myself as much as I did until their later visits. It felt absolutely surreal to be able to see them after 2 entire years of being separate, and oh my god, I'm getting emo. Hold on a minute. Okay, now that I'm a bit more collected, I think it's easy to understand how grateful and blessed I felt. I had the opportunity to finally take them to Gardens by the Bay for the first time. We went to the Forest Dome so that we can save the Flower Dome for their next visit. Most nights we went out for dinner, so I didn't do a lot of creative cooking for this video. I was mainly trying to use whatever ingredients I had left in the fridge before it expired. That's why you'll see a lot of repeated meals. There was a lot of tofu in different forms, from silken to freeze-dried, firmly pressed bean curd sheets. Oh, and also from the freezer, there was some imitation abalone from the first time I moved into this new flat, which was 8 months ago. It was still good. It didn't smell or taste suspicious. It was just a bit chewy, which is how it's supposed to be, but that texture just stood out as the least favorite as of lately. I think it's because my taste preferences are changing again. I used to enjoy it, but lately I found myself cooking and craving softer meals. It could be because of how hot it gets during the summer, and I'm meant to be this lazy so that I can enjoy all the naps that I want. Oh my god, look at her, she's so vain. Other than that, I feel both excited as well as nervous for the final school term. I'll only have 2 courses to complete, so my schedule isn't going to be packed or overwhelming, but I know that these final assignments will be the most difficult to complete, one of which will require me to conduct my research design and distribute surveys. I know they're just surveys, but I think many can imagine that I'll have to accept a lot of dismissal before I can obtain the acceptable sample size, right? And that's as much as I'll say about my project. I'll need some luck. Prior to returning to school, I was doing a variety of freelancing work until it no longer felt sustainable because at some point I wanted more stability in my life. I could have used the current credentials I already had to apply for any entry level job and work my way up, but based on what the field I want to explore required, going to school wasn't just for credentials but also for additional practical skills. And with that said, I don't expect my degree to catapult me to a high position on my first day of work, no. But I do want it to help me be considered for job promotions, if that makes sense. I've also had a lot of friends and mentors work their day jobs while studying part-time. They were either freelancing or doing office hours during the day and studying in the evening. And when I asked them what they did that for, they said that it would assist them further professionally, which was another reason I was motivated to apply to study again. I'm not gonna lie, studying again has indeed been stressful, but it has been the kind of stress that has taught me important values such as embracing challenges, self-management, and self-discipline, so it was definitely a decision with worth. Now that it's become safer to travel, I was considering a traveling break where I'll definitely choose somewhere I haven't visited yet. Despite having enjoyed these 2.5 years of travel restrictions, I do want to relive a traveling journey so that I can take my list of dumb things to complain about, like the limited movie library, the tasteless airplane food, how small and thin the pillows are, or when my hair becomes static and sticks all over my face. I'm sure they'll still annoy me, but they become great conversation starters. And just for diligence, I do want to reassure that I'm vaxxed and boosted. I do not believe in being maskless in recreational venues unless I'm eating, of course. I also won't be traveling without good purpose. I just don't want to share what that purpose is yet. I don't want to jinx myself. I have felt home gardening so many times, and yet I still have not come to terms with the fact that I don't have a green thumb. When I went to Takashimaya and saw a stall displaying urban gardening kits, I couldn't help but stop by and bring one home to try again. I bought the kit containing kangkong seeds. Kangkong is the Malay term for what we call in English water spinach or morning glory, and in Vietnamese you call them rau mung. I don't have footage updating how much it grew, but unsurprisingly, they grew tall enough for me to harvest a few portions of side dishes. Probably because everything was prepared and ready, while all I had to do was stick the clusters of seeds at the correct angle and remember to water daily. I tried doing something similar with some fish mint, also known as rau yipka, but nothing. I even bought organic soil. Now I think it might have something to do with keeping the seeds in cluster and not planting them too deep so that they can sprout. I just don't know. Because I definitely did not place them close to the bottom of the planters, but I think they just sank as I watered them, so I wonder if I should have sprouted them before transferring them. These YouTube gardeners and my Twitter friends make it look so easy. At this point, I'm just going to look after what I currently have. Until I figure out exactly why I keep failing, I'm just going to put effort into supermarket hopping for my herbs. Whatever excess I have, I'll try to process them into some chimichurri or pesto inspired condiments that I can freeze and use for seasoning or garnish. It's probably not wise to start new planting projects for the time being. I've pretty much covered everything I wanted to say, so I want to spend the remaining time announcing that my rice spread has reached 1,000 views. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. I didn't expect this video to do well given that it was 12 minutes long with no voiceover to make the production value more interesting. And while YouTube isn't an income-driven project, I do admit that it feels validating for a channel as small as mine, whether the viewership is achieved through replays or once by many individuals. Even if there are many great creators who can do better, I only strive to compete with myself and stay motivated to improve from previous uploads. Thank you. I feel honored that even though this is the last footage dump I'll be uploading, I have the opportunity to close this mini blend series on a good note.